You have had a really, really busy year. I want to touch on a couple of those things. But first of all, how does it feel to be home, playing the Metro here? I know it's a venue that has a lot of significance for you, and you're headlining tonight.
It's so crazy, and I haven't really let it sink in yet because I'm still very much in logistics right now. I'm in I've got to go make it somewhere to shower by X time, and then I think families in town, obviously families around, so dinner, etc. Like I'm thinking of all those things right now, so I haven't really even. There was one moment, and then sound check we had. Just I was joking about this on stage in soundcheck, but like most of the time, soundcheck is you go up there and everything's working all right. Let's play something, whatever. And this was today, like, oh no, stuff's not working. Our one of our keyboards had like one of those magical technological freakouts where whatever. So I was dealing with that, and there was just one moment where I turned around and I was like, wow, I'm at the Metro right now. So it's But yeah, it's huge to me, man. This is Carnegie Hall. This is Madison Square Garden. This is my for me and whatever for significance to me. This is it. So
you've been on the road a good amount this last year, and I caught your set at Shuba's, and I know you were at Lollapalooza, and I get the impression that the audiences that are seeing you perform are really enjoying the sets. Has that been your experience where you're on the road this year?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and I've been talking about this with management and label and everybody, is that as far as pop radio things go, and as far as projects from former big bands and stuff like that go, this is totally different. I mean, this feels 100% like being a new artist and starting from scratch, and it does feel like we have to win every audience, and it feels like we're winning. It feels like every time we get in front of an audience, we are making actual progress. But it does feel like we walk out on stage. One of the things that's so funny to me is Lollapalooza is an example, because that was a lot of people who were just scratching their heads before we got there. Panic Tour. There were a lot of people who know me as the guy from Fall Out Boy. So I get out there, and in fact, there were some nights, the first couple nights of the tour, they were chanting Patrick Stump, like chanting whatever. And I get out there, and I'm in my suit, and I got my hair and whatever, and my band looks killing, whatever. And Casey pulls out his saxophone, and they're like, "What?" And they would call, and the whole thing, everyone, yeah, like when you whistle at a dog, and it's like, what is and then there were a couple boos, and then by about halfway through the set, it would be like, yeah, whatever. We had to claw our way through those shows, and by the end of them, it was awesome. And that was every night. Every night was a little victory. Lollapalooza was kind of a similar thing, where it's like I think there were a lot of people who were like, oh, this is the guy from Fall Out Boy? I hate that band. Why? This is all right. Whatever. So, I'm very aware of a lot of those things. And it definitely is something that, that's something that I kind of have, that's what I was saying earlier, management and label and all that. I kind of want to keep in mind for them that yes, it's nice that radio's playing my song right now. It's nice that, I got a couple dates on Bruno Mars tour and stuff like that. I'm going to be touring. I'm going to have to tour like a first-time artist. Someone was like, "Well, Patrick, Adele's single took 6 months before it really impacted." And I was like, Adele took like 5 or 6 years before she really impacted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I get that I was the guy from Fall Out Boy. Like this is my first step. Like I'm not even in. I don't even know. I neither know nor care if I will make it there. I just want to. My only goal is to keep this going because I enjoy it. So,
when did you kind of make the decision to go and become a solo artist, or not become one, but to pursue solo work? Was it something you had in the back of your head at the end days of Fall Out Boy, or was it something that after kind of a period you're like, you know what I should do?
It's weird. I don't really know when I decided. I've tried to pinpoint a moment. I mean, there have just been a few. There have been like specific moments that were really important for me, like how I kind of stumbled into production, and kind of I don't know if I get the impression that I may not have been exactly like other dudes in other bands where I know a lot of guys that are in bands and they talk, and people talk to me about it as though, music is this one thing, is this, really easy thing to pinpoint, and you play the only music you know how to play, And for me, it's like I'm a musician, and I appreciate I love songwriting, and I know that, but I guess I've always had more in common not on an educational level, but on a just like emotional relationship to music level with like my friends that ended up going to Berkeley or going to Manhattan School of Music, that kind of stuff, where it's like it's music, you do all of it, and so I think that was where I were like realizing that while I was producing, and you can, as a producer, you can produce all sorts of stuff. That's acceptable. You can be a rock producer and go do a hip hop record, and no one's going to bat an eyelash. But if you're a rock musician and you go and play a hip hop record, that's weird, and so that was kind of something that I realized, was that I had this kind of general wanderlust for music, and that I wasn't going to get it all out in Fall Out Boy, and another thing was that they had been really encouraging me to do it for a long time, and I didn't really see it. I was like, I don't know, I'm not a singer. I'm not, whatever, all those things. I'm a drummer and I write songs. That's what I really wanted to do, And then Fall Out Boy kind of wound down, and I had all this material, and it's like, and it wasn't for Fall Out Boy. I've built up this cache of all this material that there was nowhere to put it.